The Director and the Actor, a one-act satirical dialogue. The famous movie studio, 21st Century Wolf, has been working for the past 3 years on producing a new war film with the provisional title, Little Ukrainian David Slays Russian Goliath. The production has been chaotic. The studio's initial director, Joseph Biden, who also wrote the original screenplay, has had serious health problems. Some claimed they were mental and had been brewing for a long time. Another aging director with the nickname Toenail Drump has been selected to replace him. He has a totally different vision of the film, and he decidedly objects not only to the script, but also to the actor, who he thinks was a bad choice.
Look, Vladimir, we need to talk about this movie about a war in Ukraine. The script, it's poorly written. I mean, it's really low energy and plain stupid, stupid big time, especially in the key scenes. I would never have let the studio put money in a screenplay like that. Look, I'm getting JD to rewrite it. We're going to be changing everything, and especially your own role. We need a different kind of character for the president. You're clearly the wrong fit for the part. I mean, now that we're rewriting the script.
But you're wrong. Everyone knows it was a great script. The New York Times, all the media, even The Economist loved it.
It was crap. The studio backed it only because of the old Biden guy who insisted it would be his monument to posterity. And in any case, you couldn't play the new lead. It requires some real dramatic talent.
Don't worry. I've already played 2 presidents in my lifetime, one on screen and one for real.
Look, the previous director, that Biden guy, believed this was going to be his masterpiece, a tense drama. The original title was Defenders of Democracy, all about ridding the world of autocracy. But just like Stanley Kubrick, who started working on a screenplay about a nuclear attack, I realized it would work better as satire. You know, Dr. Strangelove, great movie. So you'll just have to face it. We need a real talent for the new role, capable of nuance, of real acting.
But I was promised a story about stirring victory, about heroism, the kind of thing I'm good at. And now you tell me it's going to be a trivial comedy?
Not just comedy, but satire. But yes, with some pretty wild humor. Elon's working on that now. He's a master of hyper-real humor, which is why we need an actor, unlike you, with some range in his acting. This production has been dragging on for 3 years, and it just keeps getting sadder and sadder. By turning it into a biting satire, we can make it work. But we're recasting all the parts.
You guys wrote this and came all the way to Kiev to get me to do it. I did exactly what you asked me to do.
You mean what Biden asked you to do? In any case, he was already seriously distracted by working in parallel on that film about massive war crimes in the Middle East. He really got involved in that. Wanted to make sure the scenes with explosions were really explosive. Where you really believed the extras were having their heads blown off. Extreme realism.
But one of the producers who saw the early rushes compared me to a great British actor, maybe Laurence Olivier. No, not Olivier. I misremembered. I think it was Churchill. Excuse me, I guess I'm not too strong on British culture. In any case, the whole production crew loved what I was doing. They said, keep going. The director was always telling me we need to keep doing it for as long as it takes. And now, suddenly, after 3 years of hard work, you guys say, wait a minute, I think it's been dragging on for too long. That's a joke.
Look, kid, in show business, you gotta know when the plot twist is coming. Not only in the movie, in real life. And here's the plot twist. We're moving on to a more interesting project.
Yeah, a comedy. Don't you know that I did a long-running, really successful comedy called Servant of the People, where I played a president. Everyone loved it so much they elected me president of the country. What kind of studio is this? You guys are amateurs.
Hey, show some respect. Don't malign the studio. Look, for a while you got lucky. You just had an aging director who managed to push his own screenplay while no one was looking, simply because he had a history of a series of mildly successful B films he'd been doing for decades. He's gone. Live with it. It's not my fault you let him lead you up the garden path. I told you he was non compos mentis, which I guess happens to be the only Ukrainian phrase I know.
It's Latin, not Ukrainian.
Well, it ain't English, that's all that matters. So look, you're free to read the new screenplay and come back for an audition. But I can tell you already you won't pass the audition. It just isn't your style. I'll be more blunt. The new executives think you're a has-been.
Okay, now I get it. This story of heroic resistance was never about Ukraine, was it? I mean, even with the original director. You needed a spectacle that would make the Russians look weak.
Whoa, Vladimir, you trying to go off script? Careful, that's not in your dialogue. It isn't on your cue card.
No, it never was. And I don't need cue cards to act.
You definitely do need some kind of cards, because you don't have any in your hand today. Anyway, cheer up. This is all for the best, for you in the movie. We might even think about calling you in for a supporting role, although it's not your forte. But there's this character in a scene who harangues everyone about peace. I know calling for peace isn't your style, but the part is pretty one-dimensional, and if you focus, you can probably carry it off.
I'm disgusted. This is no movie, it's a complete sham. I should have understood that when they first offered me the part.
Welcome, Vladimir, to the real world. The real hyper-real world, that is. Given the business we're in, it's the only environment we know, so enjoy it while it lasts. Or to quote the sentiment of your former director, enjoy it as long as it continues to last.
Join the conversation at Fair Observer and subscribe to our YouTube channel.